Good morning, this is Jason with TrueLeaf Market, and I'm here to bring you another episode of our Growing 101 series. In this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about planting some end-of-season cover crops so that we can prepare our soil for the next planting season. So previously, this area of land was covered in weeds and wasn't getting any use, and I wanted to turn it into a nice garden. We went in, torched all the weeds out, pulled as much as we could, did a rough till, and then layered the planting surface with compost that I got from the city dump. So the cover crops I've chosen are an oats and pea mix. And why I chose this type of cover crop is that both of these varieties will winter kill. So I don't really have to worry about terminating my cover crops at the end of the season. I don't have to worry about them going to flower or seed. These two crops will grow and then they'll just die out in the winter. So pretty much I'm gonna set it, keep it moist, and make sure they get nice and luscious. And then when the frost comes, the frost will do its trick and kill the cover crops for me. So these cover crops are gonna be great for this soil. These are field peas, not necessarily the kind of peas you'd want to grow and eat, but what they do is when they get older, they're gonna suck nitrogen from the air and bring it into my soil. And as we all know, nitrogen is amazing to have beautiful crops, healthy vegetables. And then the additional seed in there are oats. And what the oats do is they're just gonna create a quick, dense biomass of green manure that I'll work into the soil next spring. Oats are great because they grow quickly and they produce a lot of biomass fast. And that's what you want out of a good cover crop. So between the two, I'm gonna have a lot of nitrogen set and biomass to turn into the soil next season. Also, since I've gone through and weeded this and I'm not doing anything this season, they're gonna be a great weed suppression. They're just gonna make this lovely mat of cover crops. I won't have to weed, and I'll have a great start for next year's planting. And before we start planting these cover crops, I just want to invite you to like and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode, and you'll see all of this great content that'll help you have wonderful gardens and have growing success. So at TrueLeaf Market, our customer service team gets so many calls all the time about the complexity of planting cover crop seeds. But the thing is, it's not complex at all. It's so simple. We're basically just gonna broadcast the seed over this area. I've got 2 5-pound bags. That should be plenty to cover this space, and it's really a no-brainer. We're just gonna be taking the seed and doing an even casting over this whole area. So now that we're done with all the seed, the next step is really simple. You just gotta find any sort of a rake, ideally a garden rake. I can't find mine, so we're just gonna use a leaf rake. But I'm just gonna go in and work the seeds into the soil as much as I can. It's okay if they're sitting on top, because the final step is just we're gonna soak it. And the water is gonna help push those seeds down into that soft compost laying on the top of the surface. And just gonna keep it moist every day. It's getting cooler here in our zone, so probably every other day once the seeds are set into the soil. But for the first couple of days, I wanna keep it really moist. And that's gonna allow the hard skin of the peas to open up and be able to germinate more quickly if they stay good and moist. So go grab a rake. Good news, I found my garden rake. Bad news, it's in 2 pieces. This won't work. Okay, so I've almost got all this seed worked into the topsoil. Like I said before, you don't have to worry about the seeds are sitting on top. You just kind of want to work it in just loosely into the soil. So now we're gonna soak it. And so we're just like when you plant your seeds in the spring, you know, you want to keep them nice and moist so they germinate and sprout. Same applies to when you're planting cover crops. So we're just gonna keep nice and moist, and we have 80-degree temperatures here in Salt Lake City this week. It's gonna be perfect temperatures and moisture levels for these seeds to start. I'm just gonna get this ground nice and wet. Okay, this looks great. We have soakage. Very moist soil. I'm happy with this. This is the final step. And just a reminder, subscribe to the channel to see the final result. You're gonna see a beautiful oats and peas cover crop, which winter kills. I'm not gonna have to worry about terminating it. And it's just gonna be beautiful. I'm so excited.